أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. All praise is due to Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. I seek His mercy and blessing upon His noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and those who tread his path till the day of reckoning. Ameen. Now, inshallah, we shall continue from where we stopped yesterday regarding the hadithatul ifk. Now, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in the midst of the people that were shouting at each other regarding the statements uttered by one of them, that if the man who spread this ill statement about Aaisha was from Al-Aus, that he would cut his neck, that is, he would kill him. But if he was from Al-Khazraj, that is our own people, then we would do what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded them to do. So they started shouting, they started making a lot of noise, and the Prophet was there. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was quietening them that they should keep shouting until they kept quiet, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also kept quiet. So this is where we stopped yesterday. Now, our mother Aaisha Radiyallahu anha then said, فَبَكَيْتُ يَوْمِي ذَلِكَ كُلَّهُ. I cried all through that day. لَا يَرْقَعُ لِي دَمْعٌ. My tears didn't stop. I kept on weeping. وَلَا أَكْتَحِلُ بِنَوْمٍ. And I could not sleep. قالت, she said, وَأَصْبَحَ أَبَوَايَ عِنْدِي. And my two parents, they were with me. They came to me the following morning. وَقَدْ بَكَيْتُ لَيْلَتَيْنِ وَيَوْمًا. And I've been weeping for 2 nights and a day. You can see the weight of that statement upon our mother Aaisha Radiyallahu anha. لَا يَرْقَهُ لِي دَمْعٌ. These tears never stopped from coming out. وَلَا أَكْتَحِلُ بِنَوْمٍ. And I could not sleep. حتى إني لأظن أن البكاء فالق كبدي. To the point that I was thinking that the crying, like the tears, the weeping, would burst my liver. When Allahu Akbar kabira. If someone continues to cry and doesn't stop, it has an implication in the system. So she was crying to the point that she was thinking that the weeping would burst her liver. Radiyallahu anha. فَبَيْنَ أَبَوَايَ جَالِسَانِ عِنْدِي. During the time my parents were sitting beside me, وَأَنَا أَبْكِي, and I was crying, فَاسْتَهَزَنَتْ عَلَيَّ امْرَأَةٌ. A lady came and sought permission from me that she wanted to sit with me. So when she sought permission, فَأَذِنْتُ لَهَا, I granted her permission to sit. فَجَلَسَتْ تَبْكِي مَعِي. And she sat, she was weeping with me, along with me. You know, I was weeping. When she sat down, she began to weep also. So, they were both crying. Call it, our mother Aaisha then narrated, فَبَيْنَ نَحَنُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ. When we were on this scene, when we were crying, myself and the lady who sought permission, دَخَلَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ عَلَيْنَا. The Prophet entered. فَسَلَّمَ. Then he picked a sleep. ثُمَّ جَلَسَ. Then he sat down. قالت, our mother Aaisha radiyallahu anha said, وَلَمْ يَجْلِسْ عِنْدِي مُنْذُ قِيلَ مَا قِيلَ. And the Prophet has never sat with me since they said what they said about me. You know, the way we've talked about the change that happened to our mother Aaisha from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said since then, he has never sat with her since they spread the ill statement about her. وَقَدْ لَبِثَ شَهْرًا. And about 1 month has elapsed. لَبِثَ شَهْرًا. 1 month has elapsed. لَا يُوحَى إِلَيْهِ. no revelation came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, often and often the Prophet would get revelation, but on that matter, no revelation came in. Fi sha'ani bi shay'in, on the matter of the ifk, the evil statement, the spread, no revelation came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قالت, our mother Aaisha said, فَتَشَهَّدَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. Then the Prophet began to say, أَشْهَدُ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. He did tashahud. حين جلس, when he sat down. ثُمَّ قال, then after tashahud, he said, أَمَّا بَعْدُ. That is one of the lessons we can learn from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before he would start anything, he would do tashahud, then he would continue. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Then he continued the statement. Ya Aisha, the Prophet ﷺ was talking to Aisha. Oh, you Aisha, إنه بلغني عنك كذا وكذا. This and that got to me about you. That is, he was referring to the ill statement that was spread. فَإِن كُنْتِ بَرِيئَةً, if you were innocent, فَسَيُبَرِّئُكَ اللَّهُ, Allah will cleanse you from this debts that is happening to you. وَإِن كُنْتِ أَلْمَمْتِ بِذَنْبٍ, if you have committed a sin truly on what they said, فَاسْتَغْفِرِ اللَّهِ, then seek Allah's forgiveness. وَتُوبِي إِلَيْهِ, seek His forgiveness. فَإِنَّ الْعَبْدَ إِذَا اعْتَرَفَ ثُمَّ تَابَ تَابَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ. Because indeed a servant of Allah, if he acknowledges his sin and if he seeks Allah's forgiveness, Allah will eventually forgive him. That was what the Prophet ﷺ was telling our mother Aaisha Radiyallahu anha. قالت, our mother then began the narration. He said, فَلَمَّا قَضَى رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مَقَالَتَهُ, when the Prophet finished a statement, قَالَ صَدَمْعٍ, immediately the tears just went like, she was crying, she was weeping. That statement of ease of the Prophet ﷺ made the tears to stop. Like she didn't feel any tears anymore. حتى أحس منه قطرة, that the tears stopped. فقلت لأبي أجب رسول الله, and I told my father, respond to what the Prophet ﷺ said. Then the father responded. He said, فقال أبي والله ما أدري ما أقول لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I don't know what I would tell the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. فقلت لأمي, I faced my mother and I told my mother, أجيبي رسول الله, respond to what the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said about me. The mother also, she said, والله ما أدري ما أقول لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. She said what the father said. I don't know what I would say about the assertion of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. فقلت وأنا جارية حديثة السن, and I said, then I was young, we talked about our age then. So I was very young. لا أقرأ من القرآن كثيرا, I could not recite the Quran, to that extent because I was young. إني والله لقد علمت لقد سمعتم هذا الحديث حتى استقر في أنفسكم. He said, Wallahi, I swear by Allah, that I know that you heard this ill statement, and the statement is established. في أنفسكم, in your heart. وصدقتم به, and you believe that the statement, the incident really occurred. That was what she was saying. فَلَئِن قُلْتُ لَكُمْ إِنِّي بَرِيئَةٌ, if I said to you that I'm innocent, لَا تُصَدِّقُونِي, you would never believe me, because we have made that statement to be established in your heart. وَلَئِنْ اعْتَرَفْتُ لَكُمْ بِأَمْرٍ, if I acknowledge, that the incident did not occur, okay, if I acknowledge that I committed the sin, وَاللَّهِ يَعْلَمُ أَنِّي مِنْهُ بَرِيئَةٌ لَتُصَدِّقُنِي, and Allah knows that I'm innocent, you would have believed that I committed the sin, because to your heart, it is that I committed the sin is close to your heart than I didn't commit the sin. But Allah knows that I didn't do anything. Then what then happened? فَوَاللَّهِ, our mother Aaisha said, I swear by Allah, لَا أَجِدُ لِي, I cannot find for myself, وَلَكُمْ, and for yourself, مَثَلًا, an example, إِلَّا أَبَا Yusuf, except what happened to Abu Yusuf, that is Yaqub alayhi salam. Then the statement in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ وَاللَّهُ الْمُسْتَعَانُ عَلَى مَا تَصِفُونَ. The best thing I could do is to be patient, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become a succor and a helper on what you are spreading regarding me. ثُمَّ تَحَوَّلْتُ وَاتَّجَعْتُ عَلَى فِرَاشِي. After saying this, I changed my position and I went to lay on my bed. Wallahi ya'lamu anni hina'idhin bariha. And that time Allah himself knows that I was innocent. Wa anna Allah mubarrihi bi bara'ati. Allah is the only one that can cleanse me out of this debt. ولكن والله ما كنت أظن أن الله منزل في شأن وحيا يتلى. She said, I never believed that Allah would eventually reveal a verse of the Quran that they would eventually be reading after me. كان أحقر من أن يتكلم الله فيه بأمر, because she felt that I was too small, that Allah would now reveal a verse in my respect. So ولكن كنت أرجو أن يرى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في النوم. She said what she was expecting, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would dream, and in that dream he would see the truth, that they will eventually know that she was innocent. فَوَاللَّهِ مَا رَامَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مَجْلِسَهُ. She said the Prophet had not stood up from where he sat. وَلَا خَرَجَ أَحَدٌ. None of the family member, the father was there, the mother, herself, the Prophet, none of the family member had left the room. حَتَّى أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ. That the revelation came to the Prophet ﷺ. فَأَخَذَهُ مَا كَانَ يَأْخُذُهُ مِنَ الْبُرَحَاءِ. It took him the way he used to. When the revelation comes to the Prophet, he would be sweating, very hot. And the revelation took him the way it used to take him. حَتَّى إِنَّهُ لَيَتَحَدَّرُ مِنَ الْعَرَقِ. He started sweating. مِثْلَ الْجُمَانِ وَهُوَ فِي يَوْمِ شَاتٍ مِنْ ثِقَلِ الْقَوْلِ. From the weight of the statement revealed to him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. فَسُرِّيَ أَنِّي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ وَهُوَ يَضْحَكُ. That was when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was happy with me, and eventually smiled. He eventually laughed. Since for the past 1 month, the Prophet salamu alaikum, he would leave. So that was when he eventually laughed. فَكَانَتْ أَوَّلَ كَلِمَةٍ تَكَلَّمَ بِهَا أَنْ قَالَ. That was the first statement the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spoke. Then he said, Ya Aaisha, O Aaisha, amma Allahu faqad bara'ak. Allah has cleansed you from this debt. فقالت لي أمي قومي قومي إليه. Then my mother told me that, you have to stand and meet your, before, look at our mother. That's how our mothers do. Before, the mother could not tell her to meet, to sit with her husband. But when the revelation came that the Prophet was happy, the mother told her, stand up and go to your husband, because they were all happy. So then, ladies are the same in terms of nature. It is Iman that separates them. But even if they have the Iman, don't expect that they will not do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in them. We expect that our mother Aaisha, she would know. But when the mother told her, she replied to her mother, فَقُلْتُ وَاللَّهِ لَا أَقُومُ إِلَيْهِ. She said, I swear by Allah, I will not go to him. Just like the normal, because since a month, and what I didn't do, and so he said, I swear by Allah, I will not go to him. فَإِنِّي لَا أَحْمَدُ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. I will not thank anybody except Allah. Azza wa Jalla qalat wa anzala Allahu ta'ala. Inshallah, Allah now revealed 10 verses. 10 verses, complete 10 verses in respect of our mother Aaisha Radiyallahu anha. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll start the 10 verses tomorrow, inshallah. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the successful on the surface of the earth and on the day of Qiyam. Subhanakallahum wa bihamdika shalla la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم رحمتك أرجو فلا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة عين وأصلح لي شأني كله لا إله إلا أنت